Good afternoon. My name is Stuart Reenoff. I am the leasing agent for 300 West Pratt Street with my partner, Matt Melnick, on behalf of Valstone Partners, the building owner. We are thrilled to have Dr. Deborah Hemingway and the Maryland Development Center as part of our building there as a tenant. And we look forward to trying to support her efforts to grow her enterprise there. We know that the location of 300 West Pratt Street may be an advantage for her organization due to its proximity to 95 and being located in the Opportunity Zone. And we want to do all we can to support her efforts there at the building. So with that, I introduce Dr. Hemingway.
I'm Edward Warfield. I'm the publisher of Citybiz. I'm honored today to interview Dr. Deborah Hemingway, who is the CEO of Maryland Development Center. Welcome, Deborah.
Thank you. Great to be here.
So your career's included a number of twists and turns. Can you tell us about your career and how you ended up at MDC?
Yeah, sure. So I will say first that, a lot of people have a very straight career path. You go to school, you get a job, you get a first internship, and that's when your career launches. But for me, it has not been like that. My career trajectory, if you will, has been very fluid. And it's also kind of hard to point a particular start to my career. But I guess to give you an idea, I have been engaged with entrepreneurship and been one of those creative types, always innovating and always pushing the boundaries, driving my parents crazy with all the new things I was trying to do. I've been doing that since I was a child. And I guess my first business, if you will, was selling cookies in my neighborhood. But then my businesses grew as I also grew up. And my first business actually was a photography studio. So I started that in high school, and it was great to start at a young age because you learn all the good and bad and ugly and dirty and hard stuff about running a business, but you also learn the fundamentals on how to grow. And, I still take some of the things I learned with me about dealing with customers and client feedback and how to make the customer happy. And that's things that, I still focus on today, and what problem am I trying to solve in the marketplace and in the world. So that was a good, foundation, if you will. And then, I went on to grad school, and I got a PhD in biophysics, which was hard. It was very hard, but that also taught me a lot of grit and tenacity and following through and perseverance. And those are more skill sets I've brought with me throughout my career. And then, my career, wherever that began. So anyway, after grad school, it was off to the races, really. So I launched a number of companies, and then moved on into investing and venture capital, and then ended up at MDC, where I'm now CEO, and I love it.
So MDC was founded in 2016 as a medtech studio called the Maryland Development Center. Can you tell us a little bit of the history of MDC and the role that the University of Maryland and Johns Hopkins played?
Yeah, sure. All right, so MDC was founded by this brilliant mathematician and robotics professor who's the quintessential, extraordinary, old genius professor with wonderful ideas of how to achieve great things and push the envelope and try new ventures. And so MDC is his brainchild. So this is Dr. Gil Blankenship, and he's still very much involved with MDC to this day, although he's in a much more laid-back role now. So it began with a brilliant founder and a team of, I think, 8 physicians at the time. And it was started to just work on bringing ideas, from the minds of these great surgeons that we have. They have great ideas for instrumentation, for medical devices. But then how do you bring that from the idea phase to the commercial market? So MDC was founded to solve that problem and to take the ideas and take the first step. So how are we connected to University of Maryland and to Johns Hopkins? Well, the initial team was from the University of Maryland. Now we branched out to also help brilliant minds with great ideas at Johns Hopkins. And we do have some other collaborations and partnerships now that are both in existence and in the works.
And tell us about your decision to become the CEO of MDC.
Yeah, well, this was a very easy decision. MDC is really a dynamic and growing entity, and it's really wonderful to get on board. So I met Dr. Blankenship at a webinar actually last fall over COVID. So things are still happening, even during the midst of lockdown. And yeah, it was great. We connected after the event, and I got to know MDC a little bit more, and I just realized what a phenomenal place it was with regards to the team there. They say the team makes it. Our team is incredible, with just the technical skill set of the engineers to the passion of the physicians, to the excitement of the business development team. So it's really an incredible place. And yeah, so for me, the decision was an absolute no-brainer.
And what are some of the key milestones since launching in 2016?
So, if you will, we're in the business of creating companies. So, there's a joke about, we're a startup that creates startups that start up and all that. Well, it is what we do. We take ideas and then build companies around them, from both the technical and team and regulatory and business. We really build out a full company around the idea. And so we've had 2 companies to officially graduate. So 2 startup companies up and running. And we have 6 more in the pipeline. And we're in the process of onboarding another 4. And so the growth really is what excites me. Seeing the young entrepreneurs, grow and develop into really dynamic, powerful leaders, and seeing these companies start to stand on their own when it started from the idea phase. So that's what really excites me. I think that's the most thrilling process and the biggest milestones.
And what were the 2 companies that graduated?
So that's Next Step Robotics and Synosa Medical.
So MDC uses a combination of private investment funds and state and research development funds. Can you explain how this works and perhaps share an example?
Yeah, sure. So MDC was started with private investors, and that's what kicked off the studio. And so what we do is when our companies come in, we have a base amount of support that we give them, and we also help put our companies through a very rigorous strategy that touches all the areas of the business. So they have a technical roadmap that we look at. We look at the IP landscape, that's intellectual property. And we look at the business development, how that's going to work. And we look at all the different aspects of it. And one of those is funding. How's the funding strategy? Because MDC offers good support, but we can't build everything. So what we do first is we pursue non-dilutive funding opportunities. So there are a lot of really great opportunities to pursue grants. We've had a lot of success with both the federal and state. I said FATE, which is federal and state. Okay, with a lot of federal and state grants. And we like to pursue those first because it really helps our entrepreneurs get an edge for when they do go and seek dilutive investment. So from angels and early stage VCs, they'll have a lot of work and a lot of support that comes from being in the studio and then leveraging the non-dilutive grants. So yeah, that's the funding strategy we like to pursue. And also one thing that MDC has not had in-house in the past, and something that I'm working on right now, is we're raising a venture fund. And this is the first fund to have at MDC, and this is also my first fund to head. And so it's really exciting, and I'm really excited to be able to offer some investment capital to the companies in our studio, beyond our technical and business support. So that is how our companies are funded.
And how big a fund are you looking towards shooting for?
Yeah, we're raising a $20 million fund.
So MDC is located in a federally designated opportunity zone. Can you describe the purpose of the incentive programs that the state of Maryland provides?
Yeah. So opportunity zones are wonderful. They are designed to promote growth in economically distressed areas. So this was designed for real estate, but it's also wonderful when you apply it to startup companies as well. So there are some tax incentives that the state provides to foster and lift and support these economically distressed areas through these innovative programs. And it's really promoting entrepreneurship and growth. And when you think about entrepreneurship, it's really the perfect thing to bring into an economically distressed area, because entrepreneurship, it's the tide that lifts all boats. It changes lives, creates jobs, creates wealth, creates an impact. And so entrepreneurship really just changes the world. So when you can really increase and promote entrepreneurship in an economically distressed area, you are doing an amazing thing. And you touch not only a single bottom line, but you touch a double bottom line, in that you're creating a business, and you're creating a business in an area that is historically really distressed. So we're really proud and we're really happy of our place in the Opportunity Zone and the impact that we're making in the community.
So you sit on a number of biotech companies in the Mid-Atlantic region, including Pathotrack, Relavo, Playwell, and Alo Therapeutics. Can you highlight some of these companies?
Yeah, sure. So I love being involved in companies beyond the ecosystem, beyond just our MDC portfolio companies. And one I'll highlight is a company that came out of NIST. It's a spin out, and that is Pathotrack. And Pathotrack was started by a great inventor. So it's an inventor founder turned CEO. And what they are doing is doing something that we really promoted at MDC, and that's to take big risks, and to go big and start with a really strong product market fit. So, if you're thinking about starting a company, think about what people need. What problem are you going to solve? Start with that. And then build a product that matches what the customer needs. So identify the problem first, and then always keep the customer at the heart of what you're doing, and always build for the customer. Because you can build the most brilliant piece of tech, but if it doesn't solve a market need, then you will get to enjoy your work, but it might not make as big of an impact as you could make if you were building, a product that solves a critical market need. So yes, I would say that Pathotrack has done a great job of meeting the product market fit, and that is something that we focus on, at MDC as well. So keep that customer at the front of your mind.
So is there any part of the MDC story that you haven't told that you'd like to share with us?
There's incredible intellectual wealth at Maryland. So, we have some amazing research institutions, both federal research labs and academic institutions. And we have a lot of IP that's generated. And so I would like to call many people to come and look at those ideas and see if there's something that you'd like to pursue and build a company around, because there's so much innovation, and actually, unfortunately, so much is lost just because there's such a wealth of IP and of great ideas out there. But the limiting factor that we see is entrepreneurial talent. So we really just need people to step in and grab, some of this early IP and see if it's something that can be commercialized. So the missing piece of MDC is that, I feel like we could have 1,000 MDCs in the world and still not have capitalized on all the IP that's currently lost. So that's it. So expansive growth is on the horizon for MDC, and I'm just really happy to be a part of it.
Well, I appreciate you spending time with us and sharing your exciting vision for MDC. Thank you, Doctor.
Happy to be here. Thank you.